May I have your attention, please? Our seminar is about to begin in 20 seconds, so please make sure your phone is on silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation. Please take the front seat. We still have 2 seats available in the front. Thank you for joining our seminar today. Please take a seat. Our seminar is to begin very soon. Thank you. May I have your attention, please? Okay, the seminar begins. Dr. Norbert Cismadia, Your Excellency Sander Sipos, Ambassador of Hungary to Thailand. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for participating in today's AIT seminar, Power of Geography and Sustainable Connectivity Between Asia and Europe, by Dr. Norbert Cismadia. My name is Daniel Duan, and I work in the Office of International Affairs of AIT. I am your MC today. To begin, please allow me to extend our sincere appreciation to the Embassy of Hungary to Thailand to make this event possible. It takes long-term collaborations. It takes a long-term understanding and efforts between the 2 parties to collaborate this closely and to continue to bring about opportunities to our community. Our seminar today is taking a hybrid mode. So we now are having audiences from both the AIT Conference Center and online in the Zoom meeting. So the event is also being broadcast live on our Facebook channel, Water Engineering and Management. The program will include 3 parts, which are presentation, the Q&A, and finally the book giving. So I am extremely excited to see our distinguished guests and the AIT community audiences who have joined us in person and online. First, I'd like to invite AIT Vice President, Mr. Russell Rain, to give a welcome remark. Thank you. Please.
Your Excellency, Dr. Norbert, thank you for coming today. For those of you who are joining us, it's about internationalization. Just look to your left and look to your right. That's internationalization. It's the people around you. It's the connectivity that you're going to make. For those of you that graduated today, it's the lifelong connections that you're going to make. We're going to learn about that today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to share with us geography. And as a visual person, I'm stunned by the maps that I'm going to see, and I hope you all enjoy it. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Norbert. Thank you, Excellency, for coming to join us at AIT.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Now, it's my great honor and pleasure to invite His Excellency Ambassador Sander Sipos to deliver a remark.
Honorable Vice President Russell, Honorable President Cismadia, distinguished professors, ladies and gentlemen, Sawadika. In the past years, the ties between Thailand and Hungary have been getting stronger, not only political and diplomatic relations, but in the field of education and culture as well. We intend to further deepen our relation with Thailand in every field of mutual interest. Hungary considers education as a great investment into the future. Therefore, Hungary provides 40 Stipendium Hungarikum scholarship to Thai students every year. With these opportunities, the younger generation received the perfect chance to get to know and understand each other's culture to a deep extent. We believe that later they become ambassadors of Hungary in their home countries. It is an important milestone in our common history with Thailand when in April, AIT and the National University of Public Service signed an MOU. And I'm honored to present that yesterday, University of John von Neumann signed an MOU with 𝐒𝐤𝐤𝐿 University. I do believe that the collaboration of these esteemed institutions are going to be mutually beneficial. In our globalized world, when we are fighting with the same problems, the distance between Asia and Europe is getting smaller, and learning from each other can be the key of tackling our common challenges hand in hand and as fast as possible. In this spirit, I would like to assure our partners that you can still count on the continuous support of the Embassy of Hungary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, I'm very excited to introduce the speaker of today's seminar. Dr. Norbert Cismadia is a geographer. His fields of study include economic strategy, geostrategy, regional and urban development, geoeconomics, and geopolitics. He is the co-chair of the geopolitical department of the Hungarian Geographical Society and chairman of the board of trustees of the John Neumann University Foundation. He has assumed significant positions in his earlier stage of career. To name a few, the former state secretary in charge of planning coordination for the Ministry for National Economy, the former executive director of the Central Bank of Hungary. He has been president of board of Pallas Athene Innovation and Geopolitical Foundation and its successor, the chief editor of Hungarian Geopolitics magazine since 2016. Today, he will also give away his book, GeoFusion 2.0, with his autograph. I believe no matter if you are a geography fan or a sustainable advocate, you must find his speech very fascinating today. So now, would you please welcome to the podium, Dr. Norbert Cismadia.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask for a... It's okay. Okay, so for the first slide, please. All right. So welcome everybody of the Asian MIT. I'm so pleased to be here. And first of all, I want to congratulate all the graduates. So it's a very important day. Even that what I saw here, the first impression of the AIT, this is the future universities about the technology and the future. So you are in the best place. Today, I want to speak with it for topic because the future is long time, sustainable, Eurasian, growing, and the three main passwords to understand this is connectivity, complexity, and sustainability. I want to focus is why is geography is important? Why is geography is need to understand all the current situation, all the complex system, and even if the sea or the world is changing and getting is more complex and more connected of the globalization. So this is my new book, what is called Towards a Long-Term Sustainable Eurasian Growth, the continue of the GeoFusion 1.0, what is called the power of geography and the mapping of the 21st century. Of course, if we are looking at some interesting maps, this is the map of the knowledge between 2015 and 2020. We can see the more than 33,000 collaboration by the science paper and study working paper across the universe. And if you're dealing with before, we can see, I learned in the morning, the ambassador, the using by this. So we can say about how is Asia getting more important. I will show for the later is the Asian rise of the Asia starting in the year 2000. And even if you are seeing of the next chart, I want to understand why is geopolitical it's really important. We have to focusing is 4 different things. The first, everything what is a physical factor. Every place, every city, every country has got physical factor. The climate, where is the place, a small country or a big country. It's like a physical geography. Second one is a human factor. So everything is by the population. The third one is economic factor. What is the structure of the economy? So it's very interesting of the MIT and the Harvard universities make for the new competitiveness. It's made by the economic complexity. So is the main question, what is the product going of the global space? So what is the nation make for the export to make of the global spaces? So it's more high added value product. So more technological project give the more chance to the better economic complexity connectivity. It's a good news in the top countries, Japan, Singapore, Korea, ASEAN countries, and the Central and Eastern European countries. So its economic factors, of course, is important. And the 4th factors is a technology and connectivity. So if you are dealing with, we can learn 2 kinds of geography, the physical geography and human geography. But the 3rd geography is born, was the name of the functional geography in the future. So if you are checking of the new GDP map of the world, the nominal GDP cartogram 2021, we can see we are living of the multipolar world order. United States, so you can say the USA is the smallest Canada, is Mexico, the Europe, and is East Asia. And in the south, we can say about South America and Africa, and this is the Indian subcontinent. And if you are dealing with the map of the connectivity, because we are living of the connecting world. So airplane connection, more than 60,000 destination with a 3,200 airline connection across the world, we can create of the new map the main bone of the world political map order. So this is the main bone of the world, even including the Europe, America, Atlantic crossing. But what is the more important, this is the rise of Eurasia. This is the main bone, the Western Europe, Central Europe, going in the south of the Asia and going arrive to the East Asia. This is just a bone. Our main bone is important, but what is much more important, like a nerve's point, and this is I call in the geography is a hub. Today we have 64 global cities. The much important global cities is give the total GDP more than 40%. So you can imagine just only the United States, 22 global cities give the half of the all United States GDP, then the others is a country. And where can we find is like global cities? This is the new arteria, the new axis, the new development axis start born from Central and Eastern Europe. So the Western and Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Tel Aviv, Dubai, going across to the South India, Hyderabad, Madras, and after to the Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, and going to the north of the Chinese global city center, Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Chongqing, and going across to the north to Seoul and to Tokyo. So this is the most important things. the global cities, and even if the Bangkok of the main hub, if you want to travel from Dubai to the Hong Kong, you're going across to the Bangkok. When I arrived yesterday to the Bangkok, the plane went for the Hong Kong. So stop in Bangkok, wait more than 1.5 hours, and afterwards continue the job. Bangkok, in the new geopolitical map, is a new gateway region, is one of the main hub and even of the great chance for the technology development of the future. Or if the same, you can see of the map of the new axis. So for example, the same area, so it's the Istanbul, Tel Aviv, Dubai, Madras, Singapore, Bangkok, and going across for this line. So this is the future one focusing by this area. And the same if you are dealing with airline connection of the different airplane companies, we can see of the different things. But what is the more important things about this new world power of innovation? What can we see by this map? We can see the two regions, is the ASEAN region, Southeast Asia, and the Central and Eastern European region. So it means for the patent fitting of the new patent, the new development, the new technology, the new fresh ideas is really born, these two regions, what is very important. And the same if you are dealing with the best 100 new university. You remember of the first network maps about the knowledge map, we can see of the same. So this region is getting this more and more importance to the future. Or if you are dealing with the global new hotspot cities, we can find this in here, this area. It's like global hotspots places, the smart cities, and the global startup centers. So it's important. So if you are dealing with the complexity and connectivity, we say our word is connection. We have 500,000 kilometer border, 1 million kilometer internet cable under the sea, 2 million kilometer pipeline, 4 million kilometer train line, and 64 million kilometer highway that is the connect of the different continents each other. And if the seeing of the main sea routes, and if say of the main airplane connection, and focusing of the mega cities, the global cities hub is getting of the map of the geofusion, the mapping of the 21st century. The geofusion, it means the networks of geopolitics and the geopolitics networks together. And if you are dealing with the new, this is the map of geofusion, the 21st century geopolitical world order. And even as you see where the main centers, it's like in Asia, Europe, and in American continents, is get for the connection, is getting is more and more relevant and important to the future. I drew this map is the end of the year 2019, and after 2 months, this COVID is starting. And if to see our COVID patterns, we can find of the same story. It's very easy. Is why? Because the viruses, continue the flying patterns, and from the global cities is going around to the world. Of course, the COVID don't change the history, but it's a new megatrend to start boarding. I'm saying on my book is a new world order, the new megatrend starting in 2013, because the technological company is getting better than oil company, and end of the Coca-Colanization era is a new technological era starting. It means it's a grand tectonic shift. So if you are young students and teaching and study technology, this is the most important things. Because for the future, the technology can give for the good advice. So what is the new megatrend starting is 2013, so 9 years ago? Digitalization, money revolution, like digital money, the green economy and sustainability, platforms economy, where you can find of the largest hotel in the world. How many the hotels got? How many buildings? No one. This is like Airbnb. What is the largest automotive company sharing the car? How many cars got? No one. It's Uber, because it's a platform, is make of the service much more important than if you get in own building. That globalization and regionalization is a new world order, even of the Chinese and economic trade war, the rules of the new technical companies, e-commerce, online shopping, and even after to the COVID, the touchless economy, one home, lot of function, safe and balanced, healthy lifestyle, and the future of work is how it's working to the future is really very important. And if you are dealing with the different mega trends, and I want to show this very special map of the metro map of the future, the metro mega map, the future, and different lines, society, work, economic, money, food, technology, environment, media, transport, politics, education, health. We are living here today. Like different station is the growth of the global middle class, travel is, climate change, localization, globalization, connectivity. So we are in governance. So this is year 2020. Around the area of the servers, 2030, 2040, and the future is 2050. Can find of the different the ways like simplicity, tribalism, and the new opportunities by the technology. If you're thinking by the technology, not just only the one Silicon Valley can find in the world, we can find is 101 Silicon Valley around the world. And even if you are the focusing of the technological center, you can see about the Thailand and the region has got a lot, so it's very important. So not just only education, but it's a new technological center, how is this working together. And tell the truth, if you are seeing is why is Asia, or why this region is the future important place, we can look for the new technological map. Is a problem with the Europe is lost the last decade because can't make of the competition by the technological company. Not even the famous, first famous technological company find funded in Europe, only the Spotify or SIP and delivery. But you know, in Asia and even of the United States, but this mapping from the 4 or 5 years ago, so can find is the more important technological company. And we can say about the big data, cyber security, e-commerce, healthcare, media, real estate, social, healthcare, so different colors, and even of the fintech and the hardware startup will be the important to the future. And of course, about the connectivity is important, for the cities is important. And if you are dealing with the 64 global cities, we can make for the new competitiveness rankings. And we are describing of the different 4 factors, physical, human, economic, and technological connectivity factors. I made of the new result of the ranking of competitiveness. So end of the story, the New York, London, Tokyo triumvirates anymore, because by the 101 economic indicator, even including of the technology indicator, and I call the cities like the polis in the Greek ancient, is I call is the fusion of polis. So it's new economic technology ranking, is #1 city is Singapore. And the second one is the Tokyo, London, New York, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Seoul, and in the 64, you can 5 of the great mega hubs and super region of the Bangkok and other cities. When I make this map, and I make of the new Fusionopolis rankings, after the GLLs make of the global city typology, so it was the same result. Big 7 cities, London, New York, Paris, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore, Seoul. Established world cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Madrid, Sydney, Toronto, Amsterdam, San Francisco. And this is the new emerging world in cities like powerhouse, the Chinese powerhouse, enterprise city, and the mega hubs. So it means it's like Bangkok, Manila, Jakarta, Mumbai, Istanbul, including by this stuff. And the others is a new world cities like influencer cities, lifestyle city, is a new innovator city. And we are in Budapest in a hybrid style. So it means about starting between emerging world cities and the new world cities together. 2 things has happened in 2013. The first, the technological revolution all across the world. And the second one is the connectivity started. The connectivity, what is starting the Belt and Road Initiative, the largest investment all the human population history. And what is the Belt and Road? The Belt and Road, what is the meaning, the main for connection? Eastern part of the Asia to make connection to the western part of the Europe, because have to make the development axis from the sea up to the mainland and make of the different economic corridors, technological collaboration, digital connectivity, healthy connectivity, green initiation, and cultural, educational part, and of course is green. And what is important about geopolitically in the future, this is the gateway region. In the geology is always the new life start of the rim area. The geopolitical renewal of the new area. So this is the gateway region. We can find in here in Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore is the Malacca Bay, and this is in Dubai, in Emirates, and after even of the Central and Eastern Europe, and the new landlord corridor in Central and Eastern Asia. So if you want to focus for the future, we have to focus by this area what is important. To going different economic corridors, so including of the Chinese and Indochina economic corridor and the new Eurasian landmark. And even if we are focusing, for example, Central and Eastern Europe, we can find of Istanbul, Belgrade, Budapest, Prague, Hamburg, one way, and the other way of the Rotterdam. It will be the make of the new corridor, the new possibility for the future. So, and finally, I want to focus on the three passwords: connectivity, complexity, and sustainability. Because if you want to understand, these three have to be together. I visited in February in Dubai of the Dubai Expo. I don't know, somebody who visited there in Expo Dubai? No one? There is a Taiwan pavilion. The Taiwan pavilion, one of the best success story. And if you see inside, what is the Thailand offer to the world? So here is the map with the Thai DNA. So in the Dubai Expo, what is the making? It first is tradition, contemporary together. Rak and Mali, the two symbols of the Thai pavilion. Gold is the main colors of the new Renaissance age. The gold, it means is like not just the richness, but is the growing. And of course, is going the Thailand going digital, artificial, and agriculture by the drone is a very new. The Thai mobility, beauty of the tradition, the hospitality, everything is sustainability and green. The smart cities showing of the Dubai Expo by the Thailand, how is the smart cities development is coming? Heart of the mobility, the human touch, the Lime Chambak port, the water kingdom. What is the water management? What is the water? It will be the 21st century new oil, data and water, because it's natural and there's like a technological. The new high-speed train, hub location is an Eastern corridor importance, digital hub. And I think what is the very important in the Buddhism economy is the happiness and creativity. So all the technology can be together what is very important. And finally, I want to show of the map, like the complexity, the map of the knowledge. You know, there is one of the #1 science magazine is called Nature. Nature magazine is 150 years old. And this anniversary, asked the Hungarian physicist and network genius, Barabás Albert László is the creator of the cover. In the art, the paintings, the new style start, it's called dataism. Not dadaism, it's dataism. You know, it's every data, 1 point on the map. So this is the map of the knowledge of the Nature magazine cover. 88,000 articles connection to each other, even the focus by the technology. You know what's important is the maps is not statics anymore, because it's the three main passwords are connectivity, complexity, and sustainability can work together. So this map is showing us for two things. The first about gross primary productivity between 2001 and 2011. And the month by month from January to December. So how is our Earth are breathing? Even of the COVID or post-COVID area is very important. Not just for us, the human people, but all the Earth. So it means even is a larger spaces, Amazonia, and even around this area in Southeast Asia is much more, this diversity is very important. And you know, we have is a 32 different biodiversity hotspots. There is a film, Life on the Earth, by David Attenborough. I think you saw it, this film, Netflix. David Attenborough told, we have to save our planet, but the most important place is 32 different ecosystems where you can feel in the green field area. So it means if you want to save the world, you have to focus all together just is a green area. Other places like economy, cities, everything. But this is the much more rich biodiversity place in the earth. So this is occasion that is a future in Thailand, even the economy have to focus by the sustainability and technological together. David Attenborough told us we have to rewrite the world for to save the planet. And this area will start to be. And even it's very good because in Thailand, it's got for the creativity, new innovation, the water management, environment management for new issues. This is the map, the chart of the breaking boundaries. So we have this 9 border, so it's getting for danger. And we have these 2 in the danger zone. It's a biosphere and the biochemical flows. And the others is ocean, atmosphere, stratosphere, novel entities, climate change, land system, and fresh water. We are still in its right, but this 2 is danger. So it's biosphere and even the fusion between technology and environment, it's very important. And of course, is the fusion, is to teach us, we have to be like holistic, the thinking, how is like urban development, cities, the food, the technology, the human equality, the health and population and energy works together. And of course, it's like in the geography, is the physical, human, and economic geography. You can find here about the biosphere, society, and economies together. So this is why it's important. And finally, I want to speak about my university, John Foy Neumann. So what we are doing, because when I talking about AIT, the mission of the AIT, why is the unique of the AIT, I just recognize this is university of the future. So in our model is the John Foy Neumann model. It means for the 3 pillar, new economy, new technology, and the green and the sustainability. The working together with the city development, different strategic partner and different institute together. We create of the university, building of the technological innovation park, create of the creativity and cultural lab, and the knowledge center, what is the vertical is together. And the focusing is the 6 different issues: defense industry and technology, sustainable finance, automotive industry, hydrogen and the new technology, geostrategy like Eurasia and the Belt and Road, and the health industry together. So this is our campus. So just finish this building, the first, and this just continue this one. This is the cultural space and the creativity space. And this is the Collegium and Administration Office. And this Neumann Technology Park, it will be here. So it's really hope it will be the collaboration with the AIT of different new project. And this is just like SDGs got for the importance for city development, economic development, knowledge, infrastructure, and by the partnership. And finally, I want to offer to you, you can find on the internet, long-term sustainable comprehensive life center world order, the 95 theses for the long-term sustainability. And this is the react for the new world order. Because, you know, the technology is more and more important. Technology, science, and this national power is connected. So the modern geopolitics focusing on 7 things and the technological changes. The national power changes. A small nation can be the powerful against. The fusion between defense and biology, the brain research, the sea research, the finding of the new material, the earth elements, the longevity, the question for the population, to be the longer, and the space industry. And new technology, new economy, new labor system, new playground, new collaboration, new generation, new myths, and new platforms, the burning. And not just only the continents, Europe, Asia, Africa, but the new continents are burning. For example, it's Java. It means Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. Or a NATO, the platform continents, Netflix, RMB, Tesla, and Uber. And the Chinese new continent is a BATX, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, Simoe. Because sometimes the technological company is larger over than for the nation. So this is why I focusing my book is Geofusion, the long-term sustainable Eurasian growing. And if somebody interested for more details, you can find here or Changing Words about information and some story. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Now our speaker is open for questions. Do we have any questions from the audience first? Please raise your hand to let us know. And also we are taking questions from Zoom meeting as well. So if you are attending online, you can also turn on your mic and ask questions. Thank you. Professor Vilas, please.
Thank you, Daniel. I take opportunity to ask the first question because I know there'll be long queue after this. Because very interesting presentation by Dr. Norbert. Yeah, thanks so much. Quite many things interesting. I could continue asking maybe more than 10 questions, but I don't think I will occupy more. Since my career in the past about more 20 years working on urban development, so something I might want to be a bit more focused. And the second one you have shown quite interesting on the green space. It's one of the map that like our AT Bangkok is quite new to me, that we are in the center of one of the 6 or 7 area hubs in the world. So within these 2 areas, and linked to what you have mentioned, we are like Asian MIT. How AT should move forward, considering at least these 2 aspects, the urban development trend, global city, and also the green space you have mentioned. You may also expand to other aspects, but I just want to be a bit more focused. What will be the maybe future of AT you may like to recommend from the education, from a kind of regional hub, like Asian MIT in the future? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know to find another question or just answer.
Maybe you can.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think what is the way making by the AIT is the good way, very, very good way. So the first one say the congratulations. Even that we come from Central and Eastern Europe, so Hungary, we know about the AIT. So the first about, we have the 5 waves of the future of education. The first about connectivity, connectivity, connectivity. So look, in AIT, you have MA and PhD program. All faculties learning in English, international students, more than 50 countries in the great green area and focusing technology. So you know how many this kind of institutes you can find around the world? Maximum 50 or less. So I think it's very important. Even is why here in Bangkok. So I think is the great, because thinking by the fusion. So this is the second one, like hardware and software, infrastructure and the new technology, the mixing, the fusion, like water management, Belt and Road, engineering and energy together. And the fourth things is, it's kind of going by the digital. So it means it's like a hybrid, going the personal and the digitalization, so how is it important. And the fifth point is like, the location. So what is the COVID is changing? Globalization is ended, national power, regional power, the global cities is getting more important. So the world's going vertical in the future. So it means like connectivity, not the land anymore, maybe around the space. So one level is higher. So I think it's a connectivity, and it's still, the connection is still really important. So after the COVID, a lot of people saying, oh yes, globalization is over, and the regional centers will be important, but it's a Myers company of the sea transport company, the thought is a middle of the 2022 is going of the same product, same level of the products like before COVID. So, you know, the life is not stopping, it's just pausing, but after it will continue. But we have is a new chance of the COVID, rethinking the world, because we think the health, the life evidence-based sustainability is getting more important. And the touch with the technology is a great opportunity. So for me, it's a very big positive impression to arrive here of the AIT. And it was the first, you remember I told, is a Asian MIT. How is the MIT starting? So many new things is that just start to happen. So if you hear, I feel the same. So I think it's very important, it's very good, even that about engineering, sustainability, and connectivities, international is starting.
Thank you. Who wants to ask the next question?
Hello, Dr. Norbert. I'm Nishant Sharma. I'm a PhD candidate. In the last slide, I saw that the small countries will be benefited with this connectivity. But do you see any threats associated with this connectivity, and how development institutions like AIT should act, also should foresee those threats to mitigate like future threats? Because during the process of development, there might come some disturbance between geopolitical situation or anything like that. So that is my concern. So thank you.
How is? So you are thinking of the small nations will be the poor? Yeah, it's I want to show by the map, but I just explore, but it's a very, very interesting. Okay, for example, this is real good. You know, when is the John von Neumann explore and create of the computer in 1950, every day we using of the computer, but it's coming by the invention by the John von Neumann, because he going by the biology, went to the cell inside, and he recognizes every cell in the body or everywhere, it's got hardware and software. So computer have to use hardware and software together. But what is the hardware and software is working in a job office? After I recognize, because you know is a problem, Anglo-Saxon thinking, Europe, we always thinking east or west. But it's not good, because we have the word, I call it is a yin-yang geopolitics, hardware and software. There is an invisible line in the map. Every day, if you're saying of the map, this is the Eurasian range. So this is the difference between Eurasian range going east-west and America, north-south. Okay, so Eurasian range, Pyrenees, Alps, Carpathian, Caucasus, going across to the Himalaya, end of Chiang Mai, and between the Yellow and the Blue River in China, and going up to the Japan. So this is the invisible line. So north part of this area, you can find is a large country. United States, America, Russia, Germany, France. Why? Because of the land is big. Second, going of the hardware, infrastructure, gas pipeline, train line, everything. So largest, you can find around here of the largest airplane system. And what's happened of the south area? So this is the north, I call it is a hardware, and the south is a software. And you know, I call this geography is destiny, because if you see the south part of the Eurasian range, you can see so many peninsulas, Spanish, Hispano, Italian, Greece, this area, that Indian Peninsula, Indochina Peninsula, so many islands. So what's happened? You can go across to the landmark, So we're going to the airplane. So you are more faster. If you are faster, you're more creative. So it means technology, culture, education, the best new university, the new invention, everything is turning by this southern part. So it means it's like a software, it's like hardware and software, yin and yang. So this is the big difference between the north part and the south part. Here you can find the largest countries. Here so many small countries. Of course, because India and Australia is large, but others is just small countries. And of course, Thailand is big, almost population the same as like Germany. But you know, so many small parts can work together. So here is a difference. This is the occasion. In the new can be the small and faster solution is much more important than is a large power. So this is occasion, and even with the technology is the new and smart and fast solution is give for the challenge. So I think it's the great opportunity. So you remember when I show up new axis of the development, it's coming this way because of this, and all part of going of the south part. And you know, of the 20th century, American geopolitics thinking, it was, this is called the heartland. It's nothing here, nobody living here. And this is the heartland, and told who's get for the heartland rules all the world. So all the 20th century, it was in the China, Russia, Central and Eastern Europe, because you know and before in the Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, South Korea, the American built the rimland, you know, the safe for the poor. But now what's happened is going in the north, Belarus, Ukraine, Kazakhstan. What can I tell with the Ukraine-Russian conflict? You know. So it means for the south part is getting for the software and hardware, yin and yang, of course, can working together, where I think is the technologies give the good solution because of the new result to start the boarding here. About technology, creativity in Thailand, in the contemporary art, is the new startups, about the gastronomy, about a lot of new things. So this is important, and even if you are focusing of sustainability and connect technology together. So this is the real success story.
I think we still have time for 2 questions, please. Another question.
Thanks for your insightful sharing. I think the connection between Europe and Asia will benefit each side. But I think there's still some difference of both sides upon culture, technology. As you mentioned, education might be an approach to deal with this difference. University like AIT or something, we have many nations, but this is a long-term approach. Do you have any suggestion for the industries? How could do they have some shorter or immediately approach ways to deal with this, especially the technology difference, the standards difference, when they do in the so what I call the fusion? Thank you.
Yeah. So I think it's a short wave and the long wave cycle. So we recognize after 1492, the Columbus went to America. So the new history is starting with 500 years Atlantic age. But this isn't over. So 4 years later, internet is born. So this is I call the new geographical explorers. Of course, the technology is very, very fast. So it's will always changing. The cycles every 20 years and for the new technological starting. But I think we have to say it's like economy, microeconomy and macroeconomic together, micro and macro together in industry, the short term and the long term together. So it's a new long term is starting connectivity, Eurasia, and for the sustainability. But of course, the COVID is cut so many things. So you know it means the nation will be more power. So national power will be stronger. And even after of the new technologies is will born, water management, house industry, the food industry, about the food genetics. So it will be like, you can see like a mega trend, but I think it's important short and long together too.
Thank you. Maybe we check online in our meeting room. Do we have anyone who wants to ask a question? If anybody wants to ask a question, you can turn on your mic. Okay, so maybe we give the last question to our on-site audience. Who would like to ask the final question today? Oh, Chen, we have a lady.
Hi, I'm Dr. Norbert. Many thanks for a fabulous speech. And as we all know that in the past decades, the technology, the culture, and even the products are closely related in the whole world. But in recent years, there are also some conflicts always happen. And some people are also considered anti-globalization because different countries, they are on behalf of their own interests. And some high-tech companies, they even have some bad competition and even monopoly. So I would like to know, how do you think of this issue from a geopolitical aspect? Thank you.
Sorry, what was the question again?
I mean, yes, we do have some connection, physical connection, like technology and international trade. But because of the conflicts between different countries, there are also some difficulties in the international cooperation. And I would like to know how.
Okay, I understand.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So it's the Chinese proverb says, "The river go where it has to go." So, for example, look, I want to show two things. It's a geopolitical problem about East China Sea. You know, as American always attack of China is, don't come here and everything. So it's the change of Singapore, the Malacca Bay, to come here to Europe, and after taking Europe back to Rotterdam. And after, for example, China thought, okay, we are build up the new China-Myanmar corridor. Why? Because don't need this area anymore. Or, you know, of the global warming, you know, North Arctic Sea, the Chinese bought by the Belt and Road Initiative here. So it means more than 12 days shorter. And you know, in the time even of the technology development, time is money, so very important. Normally the boat is coming of the 40 days. By the train, which is double expensive, is going just only 22 days. But this, instead of 40 days, is coming of the 28 days by this area. And even the technology, every new series in the phone, everywhere is coming up new series. So the product is arriving from China to Europe, have to new version is arrived, so have to buy it by the cheap. So it's important. So it's always the geography can give for the answer by this, because somewhere is a geopolitical problem situation. I saw of the American map, we have 29 geopolitical situation. The Rock Tribe War is a national war and everywhere. So I was so wondering, why is Kazakhstan including of the map? So and after you can see, but you know, it's normally is like large scale. You know, it's the connectivity and it's really working well. Because, for example, Belt and Road Initiative is not just only the economic development corridor or infrastructure or energy lines, but when it's a COVID starting, it's immediately, you know, with the vaccines to Hungary, for example, is arrived to China, or the schooler, cultural, green. So this is like networks, and all the networks, you know, in the networks, one point you are blocked, the other point you start to living. So I think this is the same. It's like networks in the geopolitics. Thank you. Thanks.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Cismadia, for the wonderful answers. Please let's give a big hand to thank him for today's session. And also thank you all the audience to asked very interesting questions. So due to the time limit, we have to close the Q&A session and move to our next session, the book giving. So today, thanks to Dr. 𝐒𝐿𝐲 and our ambassador, so we have the books for our audience to take home. So maybe everybody, you can come forward and get in the line to receive the book. And we are going to say goodbye to our online audiences. And thank you also very much for attending the webinar online. Thank you very much. We hope to see you next time.
Thank you. Sorry, can I ask 2 minutes just for the phone is always ringing, so I just want to wonder and understand that. Sure. Your appointment. So I just want to offer, if you have got like the groups, I don't want to be the individual, but I have like this, you can share with each other.
All right. Great. I will see you soon. All right.